I didn't coin the art tool, by the way. Malcolm Kemp did, the late Malcolm Kemp did, when we did our camera training in Avalon and Waring Taylor Street and Auckland and Christchurch. And he used to call it an art tool. And what a wonderful way of describing the most beautiful piece of equipment ever made. A camera. And it is an art tool. He, of course, in those days was talking about pedestal camera work and how you, as I've described, I've coined the ballet work, you know, the dancing with it. But he said, if you're going to dance, as Clements says, make the art tool paint. And he was thinking about the Renaissance artists, those people who started with nothing other than powder, put oil with it, etc., and ended up by painting magnificent landscapes and that sort of thing from nothing, because you don't have anything on tape, videotape, disc, film, unless you've got something in your mind to do with whoever's in front of the camera before you start shooting it. Different story doing a rugby match or a cricket match, because sport dictates how you perform. But I'm talking about studio dramas, light entertainment, where really you're shooting people who are performing, but you can add to it by your subtlety. Well, I used to tell everyone who I trained, and myself, of course, originally, you've got to dance with this thing. It's your little girl in front of you, or if you're a camera woman, who are still called cameramen, by the way, I'm sure. It was your little boy you were dancing with, and floating around, because if you could get that so beautifully smooth, it was a huge fillip to your CV.
And you would see people operating them wrong, obviously, and what were the common faults you'd sort of see that?
Not a lot after I had them for a few months. I suspect that basically the initial problem was where to put one's feet, and probably hands on the steering ring as well, but you have to start off a la a sprinter. And I know that a few people watching this will remember my talking about this. A la a sprinter, starting from the 100-metre blocks, and you've got to start with your right foot behind your left, etc., and all the other way around, depending on which way you're going. Yes, it does. The amount of people I've become friendly with, and not just friendly, have a huge friendship and regard for, is immense. I don't know how many people, cameramen, etc., there are in this country, but when I do cricket tours, for example, we're 70 to 80 people wandering the whole of this country for 4 months. And we're in each other's pockets. You can't be, firstly, unprofessional, secondly, lacking in civility, if you aren't going to accept all that those sort of people for such a long time. You've got to enjoy, firstly, the business, secondly, the camaraderie of the people, and thirdly, what's up those towers and what's going on down there. Isn't it a wonderful game we're in? We're very lucky, you know. Incredibly lucky to be born at the right time, to learn how to create something that the world will progress, and of course it is doing so now with regard to the internet, YouTube and all that sort of stuff. It's still television. One who loves the business intensely and intently, and never forgets that if you want to work in this business, you should never have an ego, because you'll get your comeuppance in the end. Well, what I feel about it is this. It's quite staggering, really. To be feted by your peers in the most significant industry since flight is quite an amazing situation, really. I'm very humble, but I'm hell of a proud about it. And it does bring a wee tear to my eye, I must say. And I first heard about it, would you believe, when I was having a second operation for the old knee in Burwood Hospital, and my wife brought an envelope from Government House. And she said, "Oh, I think Geoff had better open this himself." And there I was. I opened the thing, and I just kept on reading this thing. "You have been nominated for the..." What? Queen's Service Medal? For goodness sake. I kept on and on and on, reading on and on and on. And I looked up at Trish, and her smile couldn't have got lots wider. Quite a thrill, really. Another aspect about the QSM that I felt was particularly interesting was that, to me, it gave great mana to the television industry itself. I had to ask, not who nominated particularly, but I eventually found out, and the process, which went on for a number of years apparently. But subsequently, you just either accepted or declined the nomination, and on the 26th of March this year, 2010, I was given it by Sir Anand Sachinand, the Governor-General, at the Canterbury Club in Christchurch, which was rather nice. He's a lovely guy too.